energy, impressive faces, charming personalities, and yet somehow you stand out in a way they cannot quite explain. This is not simple attraction. This is fascination. This is curiosity with depth to it. This is someone returning to you mentally, emotionally, energetically, because there are two things about you that do not fit into the neat little boxes they are used to putting people in. The first card I'm seeing here is the Magician, and wow, this tells me right away that one of the unusual things mesmerizing this person is the way you communicate your energy without always needing words. Your presence feels intentional, even when natural. You may not realize this about yourself, but I feel like you have a very strong, energetic signature. When you enter a room, people feel you. When you speak, even casually, your words carry weight. When you go quiet, that silence has presence too. This person is drawn to how you say so much without performing for attention, and that is unusual to them. Because I feel like this high-profile person is used to people trying very hard around them, trying to impress them, flatter them, be extra shiny, loud, obvious, but your energy is different. You are powerful without trying to dominate. You are magnetic without trying to seduce. You are interesting without trying to prove it. And I'm telling you, that gets under this person's skin in the deepest way. They keep wondering, how are they doing that? Then right beside that, I'm seeing the High Priestess, because the second unusual thing about you seems to be your inner world, your depth, your mystery, that sense that there is always more beneath the surface. This person cannot fully read you, and for them that is rare. I feel like most people show their whole hand too quickly around them. Most people become predictable. But you leave space, you leave room, you have layers. Even if you are warm, I still feel there is something about you that keeps a private, sacred center. And this person is mesmerized by that. They sense intelligence in you, not just intellectual, but emotional and intuitive intelligence. The kind of intelligence that makes a person feel things before they are spoken out loud. The kind that reads energy and sees more than it says. And I feel like this high-profile person is very aware that you are noticing more than you let on. That fascinates them because it makes them feel seen in a way they are not used to. I'm seeing the Six of Wands around them. So yes, this is someone noticed, someone with attention, status, image, influence, or public visibility. They may be very admired, very chased, very watched, but what I'm getting is that your reaction to them is part of the reason they cannot stop thinking about you. You may not respond to them the way others do. Maybe you are respectful, but not dazzled, interested, but not thirsty, aware of who they are, but not losing yourself over it. You make them feel human again. That is powerful for someone constantly seen through the lens of status or image. I feel like you respond to the essence of them more than the surface of them. Whether you said that directly or not, they feel it. It creates a strange mix of comfort and obsession in them. I'm also seeing the Page of Swords. They are studying you more than you realize, watching, wondering, noticing tiny details. The way you phrase things, the way your face changes when you are thinking, your energetic details, your contradictions, because I do feel one of the things that fascinates them is that you carry opposites beautifully, soft but strong, quiet but unforgettable, humble but impossible to overlook. There is something about those contrasts that this person finds incredibly compelling. This person is mentally stimulated by you, emotionally intrigued, energetically pulled in. You make them curious. You make them slow down. For someone used to people performing for approval, that is refreshing in a way they cannot shake. The final card I'm seeing here is the Moon, and this confirms part of their fascination is that they cannot fully figure you out, but instead of that pushing them away, it draws them in more. They want to know what you think, feel, and what is hidden behind your eyes, your pauses, your restraint. It is deeply alluring to them. So the message for this first part is this high-profile person is mesmerized first by your natural energetic power, and second by your mystery, depth, and unreadable inner world. You do not come across as ordinary to them. You come across as rare, layered, and impossible to forget. And yes, they feel all this deeply. True. The next thing coming through here is that this person is not only captivated by what you show, they are deeply affected by what you hold back. And that feels very important because I'm getting that one of the unusual things mesmerizing them is your restraint, the way you do not spill everything immediately, the way you seem to know your own energy has value, the way you can be present, warm, even open, and still not hand over your entire inner world just because someone is interested. The first card I'm seeing here is Strength. And wow, this says so much because your power is not loud in the way this person is used to. It is not desperate. It is not attention seeking. It is not trying to overpower anyone. Your power is composed. It is quiet, graceful, self-contained. And that kind of strength makes this person stop and stare energetically. They can feel that you are not easily shaken. They can feel that you have depth, boundaries, and dignity for someone surrounded by people who may reveal too much too fast or bend themselves into whatever gets them noticed. Your self-possession is incredibly unusual. And I have to say, they respect it a lot. There is something about the way you hold yourself that makes them feel like you know who you are. Even if you are still growing, even if you are still healing, you do not come across as someone trying to be chosen at any cost. You come across as someone who knows they are already valuable. That is mesmerizing to this person because it makes them want to earn access to you rather than assume it. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Hermit. So yes, the second unusual thing they cannot stop thinking about is your inner light, your reflective side, your depth of thought. The fact that you seem to have a whole private universe inside yourself. This person feels that there is wisdom in you, a different perspective, a way of observing life that is not shallow at all. Even if you say very little, I feel like they can sense meaning in your pauses, meaning in what you choose not to say, meaning in the way you look at things, and that is rare for them. Because I feel this high-profile person is used to fast interactions, surface chemistry, people presenting polished versions of themselves, but you feel textured, you feel real. You feel like someone who has actually lived, actually reflected, actually grown through things. There is soul in your energy. And I really do feel this person is moved by that more than they probably expected to be. I'm also seeing the Knight of Cups here, which tells me their feelings around you are becoming more romantic, more tender, more emotionally involved than they may be comfortable admitting right now. Because at first, I think they were trying to understand you intellectually, trying to place you, trying to figure out what exactly made you so compelling. But the longer this energy sits with them, the more personal it becomes, the more emotional it becomes. And I feel like that is why their fascination is deepening instead of fading. They admire the way you make them feel curious without chaos. That is such a specific message, but it keeps coming through. You do not pull them in through games. You do not create confusion on purpose. You do not seem to be chasing a reaction, and yet they react strongly. Because your energy makes them lean in naturally, it invites rather than demands, and that is incredibly elegant. I'm seeing the Two of Pentacles around them as well, and this tells me they are trying to balance their public life responsibilities, image obligations, and at the same time, these very private thoughts and feelings they are developing about you. So if at times their energy seems split, it does not feel like lack of interest. It feels like someone who is managing a lot while also realizing that you are becoming more significant to them than they planned for. Now the final card I'm seeing here is the Ace of Swords. And this is beautiful because it tells me their fascination with you is not vague anymore. It is becoming clarity. They are starting to understand exactly what it is about you that has them so pulled in. It is your contained strength and your soulful depth. Those are the two unusual things. The way you hold your energy with quiet command and the way your inner world feels so rich, private, and real. So the message for the second part is this high-profile person is mesmerized by your restraint, your dignity, your calm self-possession, and by the wisdom, thoughtfulness, and depth they sense behind your eyes. You feel rare to them, grounded, but mysterious, powerful, but gentle. And the more they notice that, the harder it becomes for them to look away. What keeps standing out to me now is that this person is not only fascinated by your energy, they are deeply unsettled in the best possible way by how original you feel to them. And I do not mean unusual in some loud performative sense. I mean, there is something about you that feels unmanufactured, something real, something that does not look copied from everyone else around you. And for a high-profile person who is constantly surrounded by polished images, curated personalities, and people trying to fit whatever they think will impress, your authenticity feels almost shocking. The first card I'm seeing here is the Star. And this tells me one of the unusual things mesmerizing them is your natural radiance, not forced radiance, not attention-seeking energy. Real radiance, the kind that comes from spirit, from healing, from surviving things, and still carrying softness. This person feels a kind of purity around you, a kind of hope, a kind of light that does not beg to be seen, and yet becomes impossible to ignore. That fascinates them because it feels rare. And then right beside that, I'm seeing the Seven of Cups, which tells me the second unusual thing is the way you awaken their imagination. This is huge because you do not just attract them physically or emotionally. You get into their mind. They start wondering about your life, your thoughts, your hidden dreams, what you would be like in private, what you would be like in love, what your deeper world looks like when no one else is around. You activate fantasy in them, but not in a shallow way. More like you make them curious about possibilities they had stopped feeling. I'm also getting that this person may be used to controlling the pace of interactions. Used to being the one others orbit around, used to understanding exactly how people work. But with you, there is this uncertainty. You are not chaotic, but you are not fully predictable either. And that balance is driving a lot of their fascination. They keep feeling like there's more to discover, more to understand, more to feel. The next card I'm seeing is the Queen of Swords. And this is interesting because it tells me they are also mesmerized by the way your mind cuts through things. You may have a sharp perspective, a clean way of seeing through surface behavior, a way of speaking that is clear, elegant, and quietly powerful. This person may feel that you are not easily fooled by image, charm, or status. And that is deeply refreshing to them because it means if they ever get your full attention, it is real, it is earned, it is not based on hype. I feel like they admire your discernment, they admire that you are not gullible. They admire that you seem to know how to hold your own center, even in the presence of powerful people, attractive people, influential people. There is no cheap energy around you, and I keep getting that phrase strongly. No cheap energy. You do not feel easy to buy, easy to flatter, or easy to win over with appearances. This person is mesmerized by that because it challenges them to show up more honestly. Page of Wands is here too, and that tells me there is a youthful spark in you that mixes with your depth in a really unusual way. You can feel wise and playful, calm and alive, composed and spontaneous. Those contrasts are magnetic to them. It is like every time they think they have your energy figured out, another side of you appears, another texture, another color, another layer, and that makes your presence feel fresh every single time. I'm also seeing the Four of Cups around them, which tells me a lot of what usually captures other people's attention no longer excites them the same way. They may be bored by repetition, tired of predictable admiration, numb to the usual social dynamics around them, and then your energy shows up and suddenly they are alert again. Suddenly they are interested again. Suddenly they are paying attention in a different way. That is part of why this feels so strong. You interrupted something stale in them. The final card I'm seeing here is the Lovers. And wow, this says their fascination is becoming more personal now, more heart involved, more emotionally charged. Because what started as intrigue is becoming connection. They are not only wondering about you, they are feeling drawn to you. And those two unusual things remain so clear here, your authentic, luminous originality and the way your mind and spirit keep revealing layers they cannot predict. The message for this third part is this. This high-profile person is mesmerized by how genuinely original you feel and by how deeply you stimulate their imagination, heart, and mind all at once. You do not feel replaceable to them. You feel like a rare encounter, one that keeps unfolding, one that keeps calling them back for another look. Another thing coming through very strongly here is that this person is not only fascinated by what you are, they are fascinated by what happens to them around you. And that is a very different kind of pull because I feel like this high-profile person is usually composed, usually aware of how they come across, usually in control of their reactions, but your energy does something unusual to them. It slows them down, deepens them, and makes them feel more exposed to themselves. The first card I'm seeing here is Justice. And this tells me one of the two unusual things mesmerizing them is your integrity, the way your energy feels clean, the way your words and your presence seem to match, the way you do not feel split, manipulative, or performative. There is something very straight, very centered, very self-respecting about you, and for someone surrounded by mixed motives, blurred boundaries, and image management, your sincerity is almost startling. You feel honest. Even when quiet, you feel clear. Even when mysterious, you feel real. Even when reserved, that combination is powerful. Because this person can sense that you are not trying to hook anyone through confusion, you are not creating drama for attention, you are not shaping yourself into whatever gets the fastest reaction. There is a moral steadiness in you, a private alignment, and it makes them trust your energy before they can even explain why. That trust is one of the unusual things. It is rare for them. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Eight of Pentacles, and this shows me the second thing mesmerizing them is the way you carry devotion, the way you pay attention, the way you put care into things. There is something deeply attractive about your craftsmanship, whether that is in your work, your habits, your thoughts, your creativity, or simply the way you handle life. You seem to have substance. Focus, inner discipline. This person is drawn to the fact that you are not just an aesthetic, you are an actual world. I feel like they notice details about you that other people may miss. The quality of your thinking, the care in your choices, the intelligence behind your restraint, the fact that your energy feels built, not borrowed. And that matters so much because high-profile people are often surrounded by people who know how to look impressive without actually being grounded. You do not give that energy. You feel earned, developed, and they are mesmerized by it. I'm also seeing the King of Swords around them, which tells me they are trying to understand this logically, but logic is only taking them so far. They keep circling back to the same realization. You affect them because your character feels unusual. Not flashy, unusual in quality. The more they observe you, the more they realize you are not easy to categorize. You have principles but not rigidity. Depth, but not heaviness. Warmth, but not neediness. Again, those contrasts are part of what keeps them thinking. The next card I'm seeing is the Hanged Man. And wow, this says you have shifted their perspective. You made them pause. You made them reconsider what they usually value, what usually attracts them, what usually holds their attention. There is something about you that disrupts their old patterns in a very quiet way. They may have thought they knew exactly what kind of person would interest them. Then your energy appeared, and now their own preferences feel more complicated, more honest, more alive. I'm also getting that one reason you stay on their mind is because your energy does not chase them. It invites them to come closer on their own. That creates a completely different dynamic. They do not feel manipulated by you, they feel called. There is a dignity to your energy that gives them room to choose, and that freedom makes their fascination even deeper. It stays with them in quiet moments, busy moments, and in that private place where truth is hard to outrun. Quietly too, the final card I'm seeing here is the Ten of Wands, and this does not feel negative. It feels like weight, the weight of realization. The weight of carrying these thoughts and feelings while still handling a very public or demanding life. This person may be trying to keep themselves composed, but you are becoming harder and harder for them to set aside mentally, because those two unusual things keep echoing in them, your integrity and your depth of devotion, care, and substance. So the message for this fourth part is this high-profile person is mesmerized by your clean, trustworthy energy, and by the fact that you are a person of real substance, not surface polish. You do not just look interesting to them. You feel solid, you feel crafted, you feel true. And the more they realize that, the more deeply this fascination settles into them. What keeps coming through now is that this person is no longer just observing you from a distance emotionally. No, the fascination is starting to turn into attachment. And that is a very different energy because intrigue can stay light, curiosity can stay playful. But this feels heavier in the heart. It feels like they are beginning to realize that what draws them to you is not fading with time. It is deepening, and the two unusual things that have them so mesmerized are becoming even more obvious to them. Now, the first card I'm seeing here is the Two of Cups. And that tells me one of the unusual things is the way you create a sense of emotional equalness without trying to. There is something about you that does not make them feel performed for or managed or handled. You create a very rare feeling of mutuality. Even if the connection has not fully unfolded yet, they can sense that with you, things could be real, balanced, alive. They do not feel like they would have to keep guessing whether your energy is authentic. They feel emotional truth around you, and that is deeply mesmerizing. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Nine of Pentacles. And this shows me the second unusual thing very clearly. It is your self-contained abundance. The way you seem complete within yourself, the way you are not reaching out from lack, the way your energy feels full, cultivated, and dignified. This person is so used to people wanting something from them, access, validation, attention, elevation, status. But with you, there is this feeling that you already belong to yourself, and that is incredibly attractive to them. It makes them feel that if they ever got close to you, it would mean something real, not something extracted. I'm also getting that they admire the pace of your energy. You do not rush intimacy. You do not force closeness. You do not seem hungry for immediate definition in the way some people are. There is patience in you, but not passivity confidence, but not arrogance. That balance is unusual. And for this person, it feels elegant. It feels expensive in the energetic sense. Like your attention is not casually handed out, it is given with meaning. The next card I'm seeing is the Devil. And before anything, what I feel here is intensity, fixation, the inability to just shake this off, because these two qualities in you, your emotional authenticity and your self-possessed abundance, keep pulling them back in. They may try to stay practical. They may try to focus on work, image, schedules, obligations, but your energy keeps returning in their mind. And I feel like part of what makes this so intense is that you represent something they cannot easily control. You make them want more time, more truth, more proximity, more access, and that desire is growing. I'm also seeing the Four of Pentacles, which tells me they may be holding these feelings tightly for now, protecting them, managing them, not fully revealing the depth of it yet, but holding on absolutely because they do not want this energy slipping away. They do not want to misstep. They do not want to lose the possibility of getting closer to you. So even if they appear contained on the outside, their inner grip on this connection is strong. The Page of Cups is here too, and that tells me underneath all this fascination, there is sweetness growing, a softness, a tenderness. This is not just about wanting you because you are different. It is about starting to care, starting to imagine, starting to imaginally moved by your presence. And that is part of what changes the whole reading here, because now it is not only you are unusual, it is also you matter to me. I keep hearing that this person does not experience you as merely attractive. They experience you as meaningful. That is a big difference. Attraction can come and go. Meaning lingers, meaning grows roots. Meaning changes how someone thinks about choice, timing, and courage. You feel meaningful to them now. The final card I'm seeing here is the Chariot. And this says these feelings are not likely to stay frozen forever. At some point, this person is going to feel the need to move closer, say more, or take clearer action because fascination plus attachment eventually wants direction. And those two unusual things keep guiding them towards you, your genuine emotional truth and your quiet, self-owned abundance. So the message for this fifth part is this high-profile person is mesmerized by the way your energy feels emotionally real and mutually alive. And by the way you carry yourself as someone whole, valuable, and deeply rooted in your own worth. Those qualities are not just attracting them anymore. They are starting to attach them. And that is why your presence is becoming harder and harder for them to resist. And the final thing coming through here is that this connection has moved far beyond simple interest in this person's mind. What began as fascination, what began as curiosity, what began as them noticing two very unusual things about you, has now become something they carry with weight, with seriousness, with emotional consequence, Because I feel like this high-profile person has reached a point where your energy is no longer just impressive to them. It is affecting their choices, their thoughts, their pacing, and the way they imagine what could happen next. The first card I'm seeing here is Judgment. And wow, this is powerful because this is the card of realization, awakening emotional truth rising to the surface. So what I'm getting is that this person is having a deeper understanding now of why you affected them so strongly. The first unusual thing, your rare emotional and energetic authenticity, is something they now recognize as trustworthiness. They see that your energy is not chaotic, not manipulative, not designed to trap attention. It is genuine. And that kind of genuineness is incredibly rare in the world they move through. The second unusual thing, your self-contained value, your inward richness, your sense of wholeness is also becoming clearer to them. They understand now that what mesmerized them was not only your mystery or your beauty or your intelligence, it was the fact that you seem rooted in something real. Something stable inside yourself, something that does not beg, something that does not bend just to be chosen. And I feel like this person deeply respects that more than they may have said, more than they may even be ready to show fully. I'm also seeing the 10 of Pentacles, and that tells me their thoughts around you are becoming more long range, more serious, more grounded in possibility. This is not someone merely daydreaming about chemistry anymore. They are thinking about what it would mean to truly have you in their life, to build trust with you, to create something lasting with you, because those two unusual things, your truth and your wholeness, do not just attract desire, they inspire respect, they inspire vision, they make a person think in terms of permanence. The next card I'm seeing is the Emperor, and this shows me that at some point this person is going to want to regain a sense of direction around what they feel. Because right now I think part of what has been happening is that your energy has had them emotionally off balance in ways they did not expect, not because you are unstable, but because you touched something real in them. And now they want to respond from a more grounded place. A more intentional place, a place that matches the seriousness of what they are beginning to feel. I'm also getting that this person may seem composed on the outside, but inwardly, there is a lot more movement than people would guess. The moon is here, and this tells me there are private feelings, hidden thoughts, deep reflections they are not sharing openly yet, but the emotions are there. The pull is there. The repeated return to you is there. They may have tried to rationalize it, minimize it, delay it, but it keeps coming back because the connection keeps feeling meaningful. And that is really the final message here. You do not feel disposable to this person. You do not feel like a passing attraction. You do not feel like someone who can simply be replaced by another beautiful face or another interesting conversation. You feel distinct, memorable, weighty in the heart because those two unusual things about you are not surface qualities. They are soul qualities, the kind that keep echoing in someone after the moment has passed. The final card I'm seeing is the Ace of Pentacles, and I love this for the ending because it says this energy wants form. It wants a real chance, a real opening, a real next step. So yes, what this person feels has depth, but it is not meant to stay only in thought forever. At some point, I do feel the need for something tangible becomes stronger. Stronger than their caution, stronger than their image management, stronger than their attempt to keep everything neat and under control. So the message for this final part is this high-profile person is now fully aware that the two unusual things mesmerizing them are your deep authenticity and your complete self-held value. Those qualities have moved them past attraction and into genuine respect, emotional gravity, and real vision for what this connection could become. You affected them in a way that lingers, in a way